And we're live.
Ethan.
Yes.
It's 106 miles to Greyhawk. We got a full tank of gas, a half pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Hit it.
Oh, yeah.
I actually just used that reference
That's
yesterday.
Greyhawk. You did?
Yeah, I did. I used it on Corey, and you know what I was talking about.
Do we have to say what movie it's from?
People should know, but we might have to.
What if somebody like
Corey who didn't know who it... Okay, it's from the Blues Brothers. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Because your parents disrespected you by raising you without the Blues Brothers. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's what I think we're going to do. Not really very well planned. And if you're new, go back to video episode number 1. We're trying to start a campaign in Greyhawk, playing AD&D. So I think the agenda is we're going to do a recap on the end of our last session because we kind of cut it off quick, and then Ethan and I did some stuff off camera, and then we'll do some shout outs to people who have left comments, and then Ethan's got a little story from the weekend that needs to be told because it's a D&D story, and then I thought that we would use the terrain generation rules in here to generate the terrain just around our starting town.
Cool. Okay.
And then I think we're going to cut it off there, and next time, not this time, but next time we'll start getting into characters.
Okay.
What we've rolled up, what's in progress, how we rolled our characters up, that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
But that'll be next time.
All right.
So what did I say first? Oh, okay. So when we left off last time, we tried using this to generate a town. I'll get back to that. And then we looked at this. We were going to look at it off camera to see if we could pick a town out of here to use. We're trying to find a starting town. We have a map that we got from this book. And we're trying to make it into a viable starting town. And then we've got a 30-mile hex that's got this town and the dungeon we're going to start in, which is this. And, yeah. So, okay, so last time we were trying to use the tables in here to generate a village, and it wasn't really working. And since then, we've gone through it and we've corrected some mistakes. So in this little print in the beginning, it actually says, like, you're going to find some abnormalities, some weird things that don't work. And it says, let's see. It says the details are left sparse, so the judge can adjust the material and his campaign and thereby personalize it. And then it says, there's somewhere in here where it says, you may find some anomalies. Guidelines only and require a flexible approach as some anomalies will develop. And as is, we didn't find these tables to be great. And here's why, but we did it, we fixed it. We found a way to fix it. So we went, our first run through, we just tried to follow the tables as is, and it didn't really work. But if you understand that they're telling you there are anomalies, so you need to make your own adjustments, which we kind of didn't pay that much heed to that part.
Yeah.
So then we went back and we made some adjustments. So the adjustments we made, and we were able to roll up. Oh, you have it there.
I have it right here. We were able to roll up the 10 buildings that are in our village.
Right, and you can't see them, but we've numbered all of them, and Ethan has a notebook where he's got a key for each one of these buildings.
Yeah.
And here's how we did it and what we had to do. So one of the mistakes that we made was that, so it starts off with a technological level chart, and we just rolled randomly. What we should have done, because we're in the Duchy of 10, we should have just picked feudal.
Yeah.
Instead, we rolled up an anarchy, which under this system, they're conflating government types and technological levels under this system. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we should have just gone straight to feudal and not rolled this randomly because we're starting in a duchy, which is a feudal government area. So that's what we should have done. So we changed. So off camera, we went to the feudal chart, didn't we? No, we did not.
We didn't.
So we should have done that, but we stuck with the anarchy chart.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the village population chart, we knew we didn't want to have a village of 400 people. It goes from 10 to 400. So because there's 10 buildings, I think we cut it off at like 60 people, and we just rolled. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. We just rolled like a D8.
And we rolled a D8, and we ended up rolling a 1, which is a population of 10.
Yeah.
So we got this village that is a population of 10. So we started asking ourselves, why would the village have a population of 10? And we came up with 2 answers. Either 1, there's been a plague recently, and everyone's either gotten sick, died, run off, left, and the village is depopulated, or it's been attacked recently. Mm-hmm. And there have been fatalities, there have been people that ran away, people that fled, and there's only, like, recently the village was attacked. Some raiders came and attacked the village. The mountains are not very far to the north. The mountains are maybe less than 20 miles to the north. So maybe somebody came down from the mountains, attacked the village, and that's why there's only 10 people left in town. So we had rolled up 3 shops, and we kept that. 2 weaver shops and a jeweler, which we've got.
Primitive jeweler.
And a primitive jeweler.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right, I got him in the map. Oh, DMG just hit the ground. Okay, this is a precious map. Let me see if we're visible. Okay, so we're in the Duchy of 10. In this hex right here, so we've got too much stuff to grab. So we've got a road that exits to the northwest and a road that exits to the south. So the road that exits to the south is probably going to go down to the river and maybe follow the river to Nev-on-Nev-Nend. Maybe there's a bridge, maybe there's a ford. It makes more sense to me if there's a bridge because Nev-on-Nev-Nend is an old city. It's been there a long time.
Okay.
Like there could be like a ferry across the river, but it makes sense to me that a city that's been there for that long would have a bridge by now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's our road to the south, which we can figure out as we're developing our hexes.
Mm-hmm. Wait, isn't the Nev-on-Nev-Nend actually like here though?
No, it's
weren't you saying one time that it was not actually in this location, but it was closer to the river?
Correct. So let's talk about that. So Gary drew a map. Darlene made the map artistically, but she adjusted the locations of a lot of the towns on the map because she needed the words to fit on the map. Okay, the names of the towns, and also she wanted them to be like near the center of a hex. So actually, I think there was an article in Dragon Magazine, or maybe it's even in the folio. I don't remember where it is, but they tell you that all these towns that are near a river or near a sea, near the water, should be considered on the water. Okay?
Yep.
So this is actually, the way I'm reading it, given that, this is actually right up against the river where these 2 rivers meet. And then, okay?
Yeah.
So that means there's a river between us and Nev-on-Nev-Nend.
Yeah. But if it's, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So here's another great example of that. Let me see if it's showing up. It is. Over here, we have a place called Lorel Tarma, and it's placed on the southwest corner of this island. Now, this is Lenla Kafka kind of chose this area to be his playground in Gary's Greyhawk campaign. And Len's Lorel Tarma, we have some of his original maps, was actually up here on the north side of the island. But because Darlene couldn't fit those words into that part of the map, she actually moved the town to the southwest corner of the island, because that's the only way she could make it fit on the map.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's lots of other examples of that. So Nevon Nevnend, as far as we're concerned, is right there where these two rivers meet, and it's there.
Got it. Cool.
Are we clear?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so back to town. We're just explaining what we have for a town. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a road going south, a road going northeast. We rolled up that there is a jeweler that has uncut stones in this town, okay? But we also were reading, I got them in the map again. Watch your leg, this is delicate. We were also reading that the Bluff Hills over here, if I remember right, it's a source of gemstones.
I think so, yeah, but there were also like some...
ogres and monsters, but it said that it was a source of gemstones.
Yes.
So it would make sense if we're maybe... So we got a jeweler with uncut stones who sells uncut stones. He's getting them from somewhere. He's probably getting them from miners who are prospecting in the hills, in the mountains, and then coming down.
Yeah.
We're really close to the hills and the mountains, right? So this jeweler it just kind of makes sense. You just got to kind of make it make sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we rolled. The dice determined it using the table. There's a jeweler with uncut stones. And we've already read, we were using this setting, we've already read there's uncut stones in the nearby hills, so that jives. Yeah. So the miners are coming here and they're selling their uncut stones that they're digging out of the ground. And that's why there's a jeweler in town.
Yeah.
Okay? And we also rolled out, and the jeweler, did we pick which location was the jeweler?
Yeah, number 8 on that.
Number 8. That's this great big one here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we also rolled up, we used the tables in here to roll up the types of buildings of every building in this town. Come on. Here. So, but we made a mistake last time, and we corrected it since we stopped, since our last recording, we corrected it. We just took this as a D8 building type, and we rolled a D8, and our first building, we came up with a palace. But it's a village with 10 buildings in it. There's no palace. Doesn't make any sense. So last time, we were like, this doesn't make any sense. We don't like this, and we kind of gave up on it. Mm-hmm. But after going back to it off camera and reviewing it, we realized that you could just do this as a D4. You could just, because the options are number 5 through 8 are manor, villa, hall, and palace. Well, a village this small is not going to have a manor or a villa or a hall or a palace.
Yeah.
There's nobody building a palace or a villa or a manor in a village with 10 buildings. Mm-hmm. Okay? So we just took the first 4 and rolled a D4. So we adjusted this, like they tell you to in the instructions. We adjusted it and re-rolled for each one of these buildings. I numbered these buildings and we re-rolled for each one of them. And so we came up with 3 shops, which is perfect. Because when we were rolling up shops, we rolled 2 weavers and 1 jeweler. So it just worked perfectly. And by numbering the buildings and rolling on this chart, we know exactly where the shops are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And actually, we rolled to see which of these 3 shop buildings were which.
That's right.
Yeah.
We because there's 3 of them, so we rolled a D. Okay, what building is this? Well, we rolled a D6, and we determined which building was a weaver, and which building was a jeweler, and which building was a weaver. That's right. Yes. Thank you. So, boom, we got our shops, we got our village, we got our map. And we rolled up the types of all the buildings, what they're made out of. The options are straw, wattle, wood, fieldstone, brick, or cut stone. We use that and we rolled it that way. So we've rolled up different. Okay, and then there's another one here where you can roll up how many rooms, which we ignored. We don't care how many rooms are in a hut.
Yeah.
But we ignored the number of rooms, but we used this chart to determine if it had a lower level, a basement, or an upper level, a second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we did come up with a few buildings with basements and a few buildings with upper floors. Mm-hmm. And then there's a couple of charts here, one for lower level and one for upper level. They weren't useful to us because like on the upper level one, the first 10 options are only dimensions. They just tell you the dimensions of that upper level, which isn't really very useful because if you have a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 12 building and you roll 10, then the upper level is 40 feet by, what does that say, by 40 feet. Well, that's ridiculous. It gives you results that don't make any sense for an upper level. So we ignored that. And we just used the final 6, starting with 14. No. The final 8. We rolled a D8, starting with 12. It goes 12 to 20. So we transferred that to a D8, starting with 12 being number 1 and 20 being number 8. And we did actually come up with a bell tower. Now, because this is such a small... on one of the buildings, we rolled up a bell tower. And the other options are like observatory, balcony, lighthouse. We didn't roll any of that stuff. Crow's nest, landing platform. I don't know. What's a landing platform? That's interesting.
I don't know what you're landing.
I mean, there's flying mounts, there's flying carpets, there's flying brooms, there's...
Sure.
If you're playing 2nd edition, you got Spelljammer, and there's actual like spaceships coming down from outer space. Anyway, so that's interesting, but this is way before 2nd edition. This is 1978, I think, yeah. So that's interesting. There's a landing platform. You know what I would do? I would say that's like a pigeon coop or something on the roof. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If I rolled that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we rolled one bell tower. So what we decided was, this is a little village. They're not going to have like a nice bell like you find in a modern church, right? Or even a industrial age church. It's probably a 2nd floor lookout that probably has like a big piece of bronze hanging from a chain that you can like beat with a hammer and it's sort of like an alarm system for the village. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you want to alert everybody in the area, hey, there's trouble, or hey, we're having a meeting, you go up on the 2nd floor of this building and you beat on this. It's a bell, mm-hmm. but it's just like a hanging piece of brass.
Yeah, it's not a well-made.
Yeah, it's not like the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a piece of metal that you bang on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, and I think that was in this building.
Yes, it was the one building behind the jeweler there.
Yeah.
I believe. What number is that? 7?
It's
7 has, a wine cellar in the basement and a bell tower on top.
Oh, it's got a wine cellar in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go. So here's the first one. So, okay. We assumed that we just went with the assumption that these are 20-foot hexes, and so we measured out the hexes, and then we measured out the buildings, and we wrote down the actual sizes of the buildings here. So we have like building number 1, 10 by 10. It's a shop with a basement, and it's made out of wattle. So that's like wood stick frame that's got mud packed onto it. It's pretty basic. But in the basement, we rolled up. One of the options is monster lair. So again, for basement, we didn't use this whole chart. We just used the end of the chart, and it's interesting. It gives you options of, because the beginning of the chart tells you the diameter, But it also tells you the shape. Like there's 4 options that are octagonal. We don't care if the basement's octagonal or rectangular.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, we threw that out. But we did take the end of this chart. There's the final 6, and we rolled a d6. And those are monster lair, wine cellar, which in the north, nobody's growing wine. That's going to be like a root cellar.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
A cave entrance, a well. There's a well in the basement. An escape tunnel, which we never rolled an escape tunnel. A tomb, or a dungeon entrance.
We did roll that.
We did roll a dungeon entrance. So the plot thickens. We have a dungeon entrance. Our characters don't know this, but there's a dungeon entrance in this town. Where's the town? There's the town. There's a dungeon entrance in the basement of one of these buildings. So let's check it out. So building number 1 is a shop. Okay, we already said that. Building number 2, that's the Weaver. 15 by 15 foot. It's a hovel, whatever that means. But it's made out of field stone. So what we figure is that's a hovel is like a cheap, poor residence usually.
Mm-hmm. But it's made out of field stone.
Yeah, so I mean they've stacked up some stones to make the walls. Maybe they haven't used any mortar. Okay. And it's got an upper level that's 10 by 10. So it's got a second floor that's not quite as big as the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next building, cottage, wood, 14 by 32 feet. It's got a basement with a monster lair. Now, I put question marks next to those because we don't know what we're going to do with that, really. Are we ever even going to go into the basements of these buildings? Probably not. But if we do, we'll revisit that. Maybe we'll roll up like some giant rats or some giant centipedes or something. Remember that we've decided that the village is heavily depopulated. There's only 10 people left in this village.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that and Ethan and I have discussed all this.
Yeah.
But that means that there are buildings here that are unoccupied. So, moving on. Okay, and that building has an upper level. What we decided to do, because of the shape of that building, is use it as an inn. Because in medieval villages, they were usually, not always, usually about roughly 12 miles apart, which is an easy day's walk.
Mm-hmm.
And they, unless they were really small, they usually had an inn, just some place for travelers to stay. Now, some of them would be really crude. You're literally laying in straw on the floor to sleep.
Yeah.
But it's very common for villages, medieval Europe, to be about 12 miles apart from each other. And if you read up on demographics of medieval Europe, and now that changes with like the Black Plague taking out a lot of the population.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we decided that building's going to be an inn. Even though we didn't roll it as a shop, it just makes sense. And also, it just makes sense to have an inn.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense for this village not to have an inn.
Yeah.
So we decided that building's going to be an inn. And it's got a second floor. It's 10 by 30. So that means there might be a little, I don't know. There could be a little balcony up there. Mm-hmm. It leaves room for a balcony maybe. Or it could just be the way the roof is shaped. It goes, it doesn't matter. Okay, next one. We got a 10 by 10 shop. It's brick, and we rolled our D6, and that was one of the other weavers. Next shop down here, or next building, is a 10 by 10 hut made out of wood. It has a basement with a well in it. So that's interesting. So they dug a basement under this wooden hut, mm-hmm. and they've dug a well in the basement. So if you look at this, the closest source of water is this creek right here.
Which is not very far. Yeah,
it's an easy walk, but for whatever reason, there's also a well in a basement.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, the dice don't lie? That's what people like to say. The dice don't lie. The dice say you're dead, and then you're dead. Well, I mean, the dice are only good if you're using charts and rules that make sense. So we had to do some adjustment to these charts, and they tell you in the beginning of the book, they know that it's not perfect. So Next, number 6. It's a 10 by 10 hut. Straw, basement, dungeon entrance. That's the one that supposedly has a dungeon entrance. I put it in parentheses. We don't know what we're going to do with that.
Yeah.
I've got lots of little, like, small layers. Like AD&D put out these book of layers. Like, it's just a small thing you can throw. So what... There's a dungeon entrance, according to the dice, in the basement of this little building. But again, maybe it's behind a secret door. Nobody knows about it. Right?
Yeah. It's possible.
Number 7. This is our bell tower. It's 12 by 12 building, cottage, made out of brick, fired brick, has a basement, wine cellar, according to the chart, but we'll treat that as a root cellar. A place where people store food and stuff. The upper level that's where the bell tower is that we rolled up. Next one is the jeweler, this great big building, which makes sense because the jeweler, he'd have money to have the biggest building in town. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
21 by 21 foot. It's the largest building in town, I believe. Shop. We rolled it up as a shop and it ended up being the jeweler. And the funny thing is it's made out of wattle.
Yeah.
So it's going to have like thick mud walls and probably a thatch roof.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no chart here. With all the detail, there's no chart here to roll what type of roof, which is also interesting. Because you could have terracotta, you could have wood shingle, you could have thatching.
Yeah. But
they didn't, with all the detail they've got for buildings, they didn't put anything about the type of the roof. Yeah. Okay. What's next? Next one. So it looks kind of octagonal, hexagonal. Can't pronounce. It looks kind of hexagonal, but we're just going to call it round. Okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell, honestly. It's got 2 doors. I don't know. We're going to call it round. So we measured it, 15-foot diameter, round building. It's a hovel made out of fieldstone, same thing. It's going to be like, the walls are going to be made of like stacked stone.
Yeah.
Probably a thatch roof.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, and then the very last one is an odd one. It's 12 by 12. We rolled it up to be a cottage.
Yeah.
Made out of straw.
This is funny.
It's made out of straw. It's like the rhyme about the 3 little pigs where one of them builds his house out of straw. Yeah. This is a house built out of straw. So I imagine it's got like a crude frame of large sticks.
Yeah.
And it's basically thatched. The walls and the roof are just basically thatching.
Yeah, yeah. But it gets funnier because...
What?
Well, because you've got a basement and an upper level.
Oh, yeah. Then we rolled an upper level.
On a straw building.
Yeah, and it's a garden. It's a rooftop garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we rolled up a rooftop garden, and it's got a basement, and the basement has a cave entrance. Anyway, this is a wacky town. So we decided to roll a d6. 1 to 3 means the town was depopulated by plague. 4 to 6 means the town was depopulated by a raid from the mountains to the north. Recently, we are going to start, we know this, we're using Greyhawk setting. We're going to use the Greyhawk calendar. We've got weather generators for the Greyhawk setting. There's a specific one for the Duchy of 10. We're going to use all that. We're going to start our campaign at the beginning of spring. One main reason is because one of my characters didn't have enough money to buy himself shoes. I don't want to start in the snow with a barefoot character.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent his money on armor and his weapon. And
what's he wearing? Like plate mail with no shoes?
No, he couldn't afford plate mail.
Plate mail's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But what's he?
I don't remember. It's splint probably. I don't remember. But
no shoes.
He bought the best armor, best weapon he could buy.
And no shoes.
And it didn't leave any money for shoes. Oh, and I don't think he's got any food either.
We'll figure it out.
He had no money because you roll.
Yeah.
In the player's handbook, you roll.
Yeah.
To find your starting money, and that's what you start with. And
and you got to work with what you got.
He got armor. He got a weapon. He doesn't have any shoes. He doesn't have any food.
Okay.
I don't want to start in the wintertime with no shoes and no food.
Maybe he walked a very far distance and his shoes just fell off his feet.
He had shoes.
Yeah, they just came apart.
Yeah.
And
he needs new shoes.
Now he's in town. He's got no shoes, no food, and he's no money.
He's got armor and he's barefoot.
Okay.
He's ready to go after some loot, man.
Yeah.
So he can buy some shoes. Okay. But we're not going to talk about characters today. We're going to talk about characters next time. Okay, let's get through. So, okay, yeah. So that's the final building. It's weird. It's made out of straw. It's got a basement. It's got with a cave entrance, and it's got an upper level that has a garden roof.
Yeah.
So we decided, and I wrote it in parentheses, sod.
Yeah.
If it's got a garden roof and it's made out of straw, we decided that this building is made out of sod. They went out and they cut, like here in the Midwest, in the Great Plains, the early settlers, there's no wood in the Great Plains. There's just oceans of grassland. So they would cut thick sections of sod and stack them up and make houses out of sod.
Yeah.
Because there was no wood to build with and no stone.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? So if it's got a garden roof and it's made out of straw, we're using a little DM fiat and we're going to say that it's a sod building. It's got grass growing on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one that had the second floor?
Yeah. Well, it was an upper.
Yeah, the garden
level
roof.
with a garden roof. Yeah.
Upper level garden roof. Oh, in garden roof. So maybe it's not an upper level. Maybe it's
just kind
a
of
single level that was supposed to have a garden on top.
Ah. Okay.
So maybe it's not an upper level.
Well, but I'm guessing that if it's like a garden roof, because it was under upper, like that we rolled that as an upper level. So I'm guessing like that. It's probably made that you can like walk around on top of that roof. It's probably right.
Not if it's sod.
That's
not if it's straw.
Okay.
You're not walking around on a straw house.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just Okay, let's just go with. Yeah.
It's a sod house.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I guess.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right, we got a sod building. We got a little bit of everything. We got a little bit of brick, a little bit of stone. There's no cut stone though. There's no like really nice carved stone building.
Field stones.
Yeah. And the brick is going to be like locally produced from clay fired bricks.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a town. It's got 10 residents. We know that one of them is going to be a weaver. Another one's going to be a weaver. Another one's going to be a jeweler. That's 3 out of the 10 people right there.
Yeah.
There's an inn. So say there's an innkeeper, that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have families.
Yeah.
So we're missing 6 people to populate this town. Who cares? Do we know? I mean, they're farmers, they're shepherds,
We could give...
Yeah.
We could just say that, like, the innkeeper, and the 2 weavers each have a wife and a kid or something. I don't know.
Okay, that takes us up to 9 people.
That takes us
so we got one more
6.
person.
That takes us up to 6. That adds.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's good. Takes us to 6.
Adds us to 10
We're up
total.
to 6. Okay, so we got 4 more to do.
No, adds up. Look, because there's if you got the innkeeper, his wife, his kid.
3.
Okay. 2 weavers. They have
5.
2. They have 2 a wife each.
6, 7. There's a jeweler.
They each have kids.
Well, there's a jeweler.
Yes, that's 10 people.
You're
total.
over 10.
No, I'm not. That's 10.
Okay. I don't care.
That's 10 people.
Okay.
I just counted 10.
All right. So the bottom line is we're not going to be able to buy more than maybe food in this town. We're not going to be able to come. We can come back to this town and sleep somewhere. We can come back to this town and buy some food. That's about it.
Yeah.
A cloak.
Yeah.
A hat. That's about it.
Probably have some
we're not going to be. This is not the starting town where you can go and find somebody to train you to level up.
Yeah.
Not the starting town where you can go to buy some armor. So our starting town is deeply flawed.
We'll probably end up going to Nevnen.
We talked about picking out one of these, one of the villages that are ready-made out of this from Midkemia Press. But we looked at them and didn't feel... They're cool, but none of them quite... Some of them are on a coastline, but we're not near a coastline. One of them's in a desert. We can't use that. The two that are kind of close to what would work are not perfect for us because one of them is like a trading center, but this is more of a backcountry frontier podunk village.
Mm-hmm.
Greatly depopulated. Now, I've been thinking about this. That kind of leaves us some opportunity. Like, there's going to be a baron, right? This is a 30-mile hex in a duchy. There's going to be a baron or a count. Somebody's in charge.
Yeah.
But they don't live in this village.
Yeah.
We got to figure out where the baron lives or the count or whoever's in charge.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're going to be able to go. Or we got to go all the way back to Nevnen to do our training, to buy our stuff. And that's what did we figure? It's like a 10-day journey?
That's like 60-ish miles?
More, yes, 60 to, I'd say between 60 and 80 miles. So that's about a 3 or 4 day journey.
Hiking with no shoes?
Yeah. But it'll be springtime, so the roads will be muddy. We'll roll the weather. Roll the weather. We'll see if we're getting rain or what. So we're going to be, from our starting town, we're going to be 3 or 4 days travel just to buy basic supplies.
Yeah.
We could probably buy some rope from one of these weavers or something, but we're not buying. There's, maybe there. I mean, we're not buying horses here. We're not, nothing like that. We're not buying armor here.
Yeah.
Okay, that covers the starting town.
There are some things we could make, like torches. We could probably make with supplies that we could get. Yeah. But like
torches, you need a little bit of pitch, a little bit of cloth, a little bit of a stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy
some scraps of cloth from the weavers.
So did I go through our agenda? I didn't go through our agenda.
I don't remember.
So here's our agenda for this whole session. So we just recapped.
You did go through your agenda.
I did?
At the beginning. Yeah, now I do remember.
I did? Okay. All right, we're not going to go through the agenda again. We're going to move on. Okay, so that's what we have for our starting town. And as far as fleshing out these 10 people that live in the town, my view is, who cares? They're 0 level. If you have to, you roll a d4 to figure out how many hit points they have.
Yeah.
I don't care. But I do have a product. It's time to play show and tell. I lost it. Come on.
What are you looking for?
Unbelievable. The 2 things that I just brought out here.
The end of the table?
Come on, man. I keep losing everything. Here they are. Now,
at the very bottom of your stack.
I have a product from AD&D, from TSR, called the Rogues Gallery. And what this is, it's a book full of NPCs. Mm-hmm. It's got some that are really detailed out. Some of them are just lists of stats and names and nothing else.
Yeah.
If we need to, we can just look in here, maybe pick out an NPC. Like if we need stats for one of these people.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, or the other option is actually in here in the monster manual. It's not under humans for H, it's under M for men.
Okay.
But there's a whole section on different types of quote unquote men, where men means human. But they're mostly people you're going to end up fighting with. They're like brigands, they're brigands, sorry about the pronunciation. They're brigands, they're berserkers, There's also some stuff in here about different NPCs that can be hired and how much they cost.
I saw that. Yeah.
So if we really want to get into the weeds and start naming NPCs in our town, we can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we don't have to do that right now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Agreed?
I agree.
Okay, we can move forward.
Yes.
And we can take this book, put it back on the shelf, and we're done with it for the foreseeable future. Maybe we'll come back and steal another town map. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. So, first couple of videos, I was really confused because I was expecting this to have fleshed out towns in it. I mean, I got this a while back, and that's how I remembered it. And then when I opened it up, when we sat down and I opened it up, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, today, there's all these pieces of software that are free, that you can buy. There's all these websites that generate towns and hex maps and right, like there's websites out there where you can just click and generate a city.
Yeah.
Click, generate a town. Easy.
They made all of these.
But this is the town generator, the town map generator of the 1970s. Yeah. Before we had computers that could do that and software that could do that, this was the town generation software of its day. In 1978, you couldn't go to a website and just generate a town. But you could go to your hobby shop, buy this booklet, and get a map of a town. This is analog, what everybody is now doing online, or doing on their computer. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Set this aside, set this aside. Okay, we're going to move on to...
We're doing comments
or your story?
Let's do comments first.
Let's do comments. Okay, we're going to do comments. Okay. So we got some comments in on our first video since the last time we did this. So this is from comments from episode 1. Okay, what's the first one? Who's it from?
Okay, first one is from Mark CMG.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about him. Hold on. So Mark, what is it? Something Mountain Games. Oh, God bless America. Creative Mountain Games? Country Mountain Games? Oh my gosh. Creative Mountain Games. Something Mountain Games. I'm so sorry, Mark. Mark is, I want to say who Mark. Mark is awesome. I love Mark. Here's why. I've never met the guy. Mark is a torchbearer. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
The way that I'm saying it.
Yes, you were telling me about this like a couple days ago.
What do you think a torchbearer is? Did I explain to you what I think?
It's someone who passes along. What?
Talking to the mic.
Oh,
I'm talking a lot on purpose, but you're not.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Well, I am. Okay.
I just want to make sure you're heard.
Yeah. Okay. It's somebody who passes along the knowledge and the information to the next generation of people who, in this case, are going to be playing D&D.
Playing
this kind of D&D. Real D&D.
Thank you for saying that. I'm D&D. So proud my son said that. Okay. Well, I mean, basic D&D and an original D&D is real D&D.
That's good too, yeah.
Second edition is real D&D.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so Mark is a torchbearer. Mark CMG. This guy he's got a game shop or he runs a game shop in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, the home of role-playing games. Well, sorry, to be fair, Minneapolis, St. Paul is the home of role-playing games, but the home of the place where it was first put together into a published game. But Mark has been playing this game and running this game for other people all this time. So all those years when this was out of print, you couldn't get a PDF. Like they kept printing this into second edition, like up until like 1991 or something like that. They kept printing this, even though second edition had come out, because these were still popular. A lot of people kept playing this and didn't switch.
Yeah.
But Mark is one of the torchbearers. During the Dark Ages, Mark is one of the people that kept this community alive by playing the game. And today, he does a podcast. He's got a YouTube channel. I will put him in the description. Go check him out. Every week, or I don't know how often, he's got a Discord server. He'll go through and he'll talk about a spell. He'll talk about a section of the Dungeon Master Guide. He'll talk about a monster. He'll gotta pull out a prop. He'll talk about one of the monsters in the monster manual. But he just does these short podcasts and videos where he just talks, and he'll give shout outs to things that people are doing around the D&D community. The guy's a torchbearer. He's one of the reasons why when I came back to D&D in like 2017 or 2018, why I found a D&D community is because of people like Mark. So go ahead. What did Mark say?
Okay. Mark said, thanks for the video. I love DMing, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah. There's certain things about it that I love. I love the world generation. I love the adventure creation. I love running that. I love incorporating characters into the setting, whatever setting I'm running, whether it be Greyhawk or something else, or something I create. I love all of that. The thing is, if you're a DM, you always have to be recruiting new players because you lose players. Somebody's, loses their job, gets a job, moves away, gets divorced, people get sick. There's always people just decide they don't like your game and they leave. You always have to be recruiting players if you're a DM. That's just something a DM has to do. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be like, begging people at the game shop or whatever. And I don't want to be playing online with people with bad microphones and they won't turn on their camera. I've just read a whole bunch of material that I'm going to run for everybody, or I'm going to run a game, whatever, sandbox style. And I'm studying the rules so I can run the game fairly and follow the rules. And then, somebody at the last minute doesn't show up, and somebody shows up, but they got the TV on in the background. Man, I am done with that. I am so done with that. For now.
For now, yes.
Maybe later I'll be like, okay, I'm going to start an online campaign again. But I've done it twice. I've done 2 online campaigns, and they haven't. The first one was an AD&D campaign, and started off with 9 players. 2 of them didn't make it to session 0. 3 of them had to leave after a few months because their jobs changed. One of them had to leave because he was unemployed and he got a job. And I was left with 3 players, and the 3 players didn't want to continue until we found more players. And I had just, gone from 9 to 3 players. I did not want to go around the internet advertising my game. I just wasn't in the mood to do it.
Yeah.
And then the last game I ran was for friends and family. I had some friends come to me and they said, hey, we want to get our kids into D&D, but we don't know how to. And I said, okay, I'll run basic D&D. I don't have the book out here, but I said, I'll run basic D&D. It's really simple. Here's the PDF. Get together with your kids, make up some characters, and we'll go. And so the kids were the first to flake out. There were 3 kids from 2 different friends who, not including Ethan.
Yeah.
The kids were the first to flake out. Like, one of them got into an argument with his dad, and so he was not going to play D&D with his dad while they were arguing. And 2 of them, I don't know. 2 of them, the whole reason I was doing it was for the kids. And 2 of them, like, mom showed up, but kids didn't the first session, and the kids never showed up.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I was doing it is for the kids. So it ended up being Ethan and me and a friend of mine, or a guy I used to work with, and the parents who wanted to get their kids involved in D&D, but their kids weren't in the game. And then, I'm not going to say who, but one of my players called into a session from her cell phone while she was going through the drive-thru at a fast food restaurant. And that's when I just said, okay, this is over. I mean, seriously, if you have that little regard and respect and decency that you're wasting my time telling me you want to play D&D with your kids, but your kids don't show up, and then you join an online session on your cell phone while you're driving through a drive-thru. I do not want to play online anymore. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, let's move on. Mark, love you, man. Best wishes.
Okay, next is... Hold on, I have to... Okay. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's not going to be as bad as Mike Dimart.
Spell it if you want to.
All right. No, I got this. All right. Sebon, XX Sebon, 6824.
Forget all the numbers at the end. That's just something that like YouTube populates for,
whatever.
Old accounts.
Okay.
All right. Seven X7.
7XX7.
Okay, what does it say?
Okay. New subscriber. I run my own stuff as I want to play my old characters, and they are pretty powerful. Too much for most DMs as they are 45-year-old characters.
That's awesome, man. I found my old characters from the 80s in a Trapper Keeper and a box. But I hadn't played them in 30 years, 35 years. But this guy, I'm covering my mouth. But this guy, 7x7, has been playing his same characters for 45 years, and he's soloing with them because nobody wants a character that's collected 45 years. So that's interesting, man. That would be interesting to know about. Like, I imagine that you're at domain level play, because surely you're not. And your characters, I mean, I would imagine that your characters have like settled down, gotten spouses, had some children of their own. I did that with one of my characters back in the 80s. The character I played the most. At some point, I told my DM I wanted him to like, because he was above 10th level.
Yeah.
I said, I want him to get married and start a family. And so my DM said, okay, roll up his wife. I rolled up a wife. She was like a fighter. Mm-hmm. First level. And then every now and then the DM was like, okay, you just had a baby. Throughout the campaign, the DM would be like, okay, you just had a baby. So I don't know how many kids my character had, but I imagine if you've been running a character for 45 years, you've probably got like the grandchildren of your characters running around in your campaign, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how you do time in your campaign. Mm-hmm. But 45 years, you can't slow it down that much.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And if your character hasn't died and you've been playing it for 45 years, your character's probably really rich. Your character's probably a king.
I would imagine, yeah.
Anyway, it would be interesting.
45 years of adventure.
It'd be interesting to know more about your campaign and what you're doing with your characters. Game on, man. Okay. Yeah. Who's next? Okay. Anybody next?
That is all of the new comments on our first episode. I'm going to switch to our second episode real quick and check the comments. Okay.
Those are all going to be new. Can you
Here we go.
Try to take them in order?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Again, apologies, Mike. You're the first commenter here. Okay, from Mike Dimart. Mike with a Y here, and yeah, I haunt a lot of RPG channels. I thought the Midkemia was a coincidence. Cool to find out it was Feist's campaign world. My wife was a fan of the Rift War saga. The city system is Waterdeep based. I was disappointed years ago, but used stuff for inspiration for other cities. I also have a DM design kit, but I didn't use it much. Got an idea. Sorry, got a kick out of the beep, no cussing. Um, I'm putting together some resources for a hex crawl and possible solo/duo game myself, so your videos are insightful.
So I want to look at it just to.
Yeah, I think there's a reply there. That was probably.
All right, one thing at a time. Yeah, the Midkemia thing is really cool. The stuff they made is really cool, but man, it's expensive to get your hands on these days. But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and your wife is into the Rift War saga. Yeah, Raymond E. Feist's books they're good reads, and if you play D&D and you like D&D, you're probably gonna like Raymond E. Feist's books. Good fantasy reads. City system is Waterdeep based. I realized that, as you saw in the last session. I put it back on the shelf. I don't even have it out here to lay on the table. It's back on the shelf. I could use it to like do some random encounters in any city.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, it doesn't really. It says Forgotten Realms on the outside of the box, but it doesn't really say this is for Waterdeep on the outside of the box. You open up the box and you find out it's for a very specific city in the Forgotten Realms setting. So I don't think I'm going to get any use out of it. I put it back on the shelf. You use stuff for inspiration for other cities. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so the Dungeon Master's Design Kit. I was looking through that. It has nothing for city or town development. It's all it's a procedural system for making an adventure, for a dungeon master to design an adventure to run at his table or her table. So that's not useful to me. We're going to be running a lot of canned adventures. We're going to be using random rolls for encounters. We're going to use reaction rules to see and morale rules to see if they're friends or foes, if they run away, if they fight. We're going to use the rules to determine all that once we get going here. Let's see. Yeah, the beep no cussing thing. We're trying to stay. I would like us to stay family friendly, so you can have your kids watch a father and son argue on YouTube. We haven't argued very much.
No,
we haven't. We got to get into like a full.
Well, we argue about other stuff that I just
on camera.
No, I'm just in general. There's just I don't find anything here that I need to argue about. Right,
it'll happen. I mean, it's D&D. We'll fight about something.
Okay. I don't know. Sure.
Okay. At some point you're going to be like, that rule sucks. And I'll be like, yeah, but I want to follow the rules. I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Only time will tell.
I'm putting together some resources for a hex crawl and possible solo game myself. Hey, man, that's awesome. Have fun. And Grey Army Gaming told Mike to say happy hunting. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Grey Army Gaming, by the way, that name, Grey Army Gaming, I picture miniatures printed with 3D printers.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, because they're gray.
Usually they're gray.
Yeah, usually people use gray.
What
do you call it? Not resin.
Filament.
Filament.
Or resin. I mean, if you're using a resin printer. Yeah.
So I'm curious about the name, Grey Army Gaming. Are they? I imagine they're probably a miniatures wargamer, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you looked it up? Do you know?
I think I tapped and they don't have any videos or any information.
Oh.
So, okay. But yeah, I like the name, Grey Army Gaming. Yeah. It made me think of like 3D printed miniatures.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, next is BX Disciple. They said Better Off Dead, loved that movie, classic 80s vibes.
So I want to say that that name rings a bell, and I think I'm subscribed to that person already. Do they have videos?
Yes. Skate park.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to you, man. Thanks for stopping by. That's cool that you showed up in the because, like I was saying with Mike, when I see people running TSR D&D, I just push subscribe. So I'm already subscribed to you. Well, what did he say?
Better Off Dead. Loved that movie. Classic 80s vibes.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
Gray Army Gaming, actually.
Oh.
And they said, fun stuff, mate. Thanks for posting. Smiley face, thumbs up.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we have Michael Gross, and he said, it was humbling and honoring to have been discussed in this video. I was hired by Frog God Games in 2021 and acted as project manager for the Tome of Essential Horrors 2, for which I was interviewed on Eric Tenkar's channel in July. I helped put the monsters in the tin as I did for the first Tome of Essential Horrors in 2023. The team that worked on it is terrific and deserves...
Did you say, what did you call it, of Essential Horrors?
Tome of Essential Horrors.
Okay.
Did I say tomb?
I don't know, but keep going. I'm sorry.
My bad.
It's a book, Tome of Essential Horrors.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The team that worked on it is terrific and deserves more accolades than me, as I was a mere aggregator more than anything else. I can claim 3/4 of the ideas found in the essential classes of healing, but writer's block forced a capable Bill Edmonds to write in my place. I mostly serve as a fulfillment coordinator, project manager, DTRPG manager, and website manager for FGG.
Website manager? Website manager? Oh, Mike, I got a job for you, man. I love your website, but I can't search by author. You got to get on that, man. Like, if I go into the search box and I want to see all of Zach Glazer's stuff or something like that, I can't type in any author's name and get any result. So if you could make your products in your web store searchable by author's name, because some people, nerds like me, if we like one thing that somebody created, we're going to look for more. But on your website, I can't search by author name, man. So that might help you with some sales. I don't know. You keep doing you. Keep going. Okay.
As for your dynamic here, I can tell you that your report makes me think of my own son, 22, and myself. Being told you're right by a 20-plus-year-old son is like a bicycle pump to the heart and head.
Yeah.
It was great hearing about our chats on Greyhawk. They were a lot of fun. See you here or on Lord Gazumba's Twitch channel, Jason and Ethan.
So
thank you, Michael Gross.
Yeah, Lord Gazumba's Twitch channel. He's one of the guys that I found very early when I first came back to D&D. And what brought me back to D&D, by the way, was Ethan. What?
So I didn't see this. Sorry, Michael. You replied to your own comment and said, apologies for my being long-winded. By all means, do not read my comment in the next video. I just read that, so...
Oh, you can tell we haven't planned anything.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, this is our idea of a fun session at D&D. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, but he mentioned Lord Gazumba. So this is a guy named Jay Scott who's been running the same AD&D campaign since for like 42 years or something like that. And back in 2018 or so, he started with the same players. Like his most recent player joined in 1992. Unbelievable. So, and he's really into tabletop miniatures and terrain. He doesn't run sandbox. He sets up amazing tables full of terrain, and they're old school. They break out the ruler and they measure the inches for their movement and their combat and everything. Anyway, he started going on Twitch, and then he mirrors his stuff on YouTube. His name is Jay Scott. His Twitch channel is Lord Gazumba. And he's a good guy. Like I back in the day used to talk with him a lot on voice chat on Discord, and And I got to playtest a module that he wrote and published at Castle Entertainment. And let's see it, GaryCon, virtual GaryCon. He's a great guy. What he's done is he's sort of built this community of Greyhawk fans, people who are really into the Greyhawk setting. And he doesn't care what game you play or who you are or anything. If you're a fan of the Greyhawk setting, he's very open arm welcoming. And and I used to watch him on Twitch all the time. These days, I pretty much catch his videos on YouTube and hit the like button over there. I haven't been on Twitch in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So anyway, okay, move on.
Okay. Next comment is from Anthony Kravitz. Why does this make me want to play and build my town?
With a smiley face.
With a smiley face.
Right. So it sounds like he's trolling, but because there's a smiley face, I'm taking that as a friendly troll.
I don't get any trolling vibes out of this.
Okay, so you think he's just asking, why does this make me want to play?
It's like a...
That would be a rude thing to say. It's not supposed to.
I don't think it's...
What?
I don't know. If I was...
Speak.
Trying to formulate thoughts. Okay, if I was watching somebody play D&D online, and I don't know how to explain, but I think that this is just wholesome.
Without the smiley face, it's a rude comment.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But because he's saying, why does this make me want to play and what? Create town?
Why does this want to make me... why does this make me want to play and build my town?
Okay. It's not supposed to. I don't care what you do. If you like to play hockey, go play hockey. I'm not trying to get any... What?
I think you're reading way too much into this.
All right.
Okay?
I'm not, because he put a smiley face. So I think he's being cheeky is what I think. I think it's a friendly comment. But without the smiley face... Right?
Okay. I don't know. I think without the smiley face, I would not get any bad...
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so the answer is this is not supposed to make you want to play. This is just us playing and posting what we're doing on the internet so that other people can... That's it. Oh, and by the way, to tell you how fly by the seat of the pants this is, Ethan, for the viewers, would you describe... the Rube Goldberg contraption, a contraption that we have that's holding up the camera.
Okay, so I actually have a picture of this contraption from last week.
No, I don't.
I'm not going to post it.
No, we're not showing pictures.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Just describe what is holding up the camera. Just describe what is holding up the camera.
So this is the second video setup. That we're using. Same setup from the second video, not the same as the first. But this current setup is we have two bar stools with backs.
Two bar stools.
Yeah. And they are at the end of our coffee table, which is what we've got all of our stuff on right here. We're sitting on our couch. We've got our coffee table covered in D&D. And we've got, at the end of the coffee table, two bar stools. And then... we've got an old yardstick that is being held...
Very old yardstick. It was my grandfather's. It's from the 1930s.
Yeah. And it's...
So two bar stools and a yardstick. Continue.
Yeah, okay. So the yardstick is held onto the bar stools using, 3 or 4 rubber bands that are kind of looped around, kind of just holding it upright, okay? And holding this yardstick over our table. So the yardstick is right over here. Then clipped to the end of the yardstick, we have my phone holder that is meant to be clipped to the air vent inside of a car. And I got this a while ago, and I repurposed it to hold your phone.
So the holder for a car dashboard
Yeah.
is there. The phone is in a car dashboard holder that is clipped to the end of a yardstick that is tied to 2 bar stools with rubber bands.
Yeah.
That is how we're filming this.
And to make this all just one step better, the phone holder really only is meant to work in one orientation, which is upright. And in the current orientation we have it in, it doesn't properly clamp down onto the phone. So we actually have a rubber band on the phone holder kind of helping to clamp.
And when Ethan takes the video and edits it, he has to double the sound volume so that you can hear us on YouTube.
Yeah,
and he has to has to rotate 90 degrees. He has to rotate the video 90 degrees because we're taking it
in the wrong orientation. We're taking a vertical video right now.
Yeah.
And I after the fact in some cheap, well, it's not. I use Clipchamp that comes with Windows, and I just turn it on its side, and I double the volume, and yeah. So that's our setup right now. It's
okay. So we are not trying to make anybody.
We're at an hour and 13 minutes.
Okay, let's keep going. We're not trying to make anybody do anything. But I have had some people say, "Hey, I'm watching because I'm trying to start a solo campaign, and you're giving me some ideas." We are screwing up as we go. Like the last session was a complete mix-up. Like we failed. We were trying to make it starting town, and we failed. Yeah. So maybe you can watch us and learn what not to do and save some time. Yes. Okay, go on.
Okay.
Thanks for chiming in, man. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, I'm going to answer the next question.
Okay.
All right, the next one is...
Who's it from?
From Michael Gross again.
Oh.
He said, "Hey guys, our younger son, 11, would like to know where to find the dice tower you guys use. He said it's epic." Okay, so I 3D printed this myself a few years ago. I found the 3D model for it online on a website called... Hold on.
Well, we'll put it in the comments.
I will put it in the comments. I found this 3D model online, and it was one of my first ever prints that I did using my 3D printer. I made it for my dad. It's
missing 2 crenellations because I knocked it off my desk once.
Yeah, it printed in let's see, like a few different pieces here. So there's this main piece here. There's the 2 side pieces, and then there's pins that go into each of these corners that hold it, and I printed all of those, and they just kind of fit together pretty easily. And but I 3D printed it is the answer. I don't know. I'm sure if you go online, there is somebody 3D printing something very similar and selling it. I've seen it like on eBay.
Yeah, but those might not be legal.
They
probably
are.
They're probably printing them from the free STL and selling them without a license.
Yeah, there is a license on this website that lets you know what you can legally do with that free STL that you download.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
There's your answer. There's where we got the dice tower. Ethan made it with a 3D printer that got him for his birthday a while back.
Yeah. Okay, and from 6 hours ago, actually. Okay, we have Sebon XX Sebon again. New subscriber, good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that it?
Those are all our comments.
Okay. We're over an hour. Let's quickly... and so that next session, we can just start talking about characters is what I'd like to do.
Sure.
So we can get closer to actually playing, rolling out. We are playing, but... okay. So we are going to go to the terrain generation part. Random monster encounters. It's right after... No, it's in a different place.
It's in one of the appendices.
No, it's earlier in the book. Yeah, it's under like campaign development. Okay, you entertain the troops while I thumb through.
Okay.
It's
entertaining people.
Yeah, entertain people.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're supposed to be doing here.
I don't know, but it's got to be boring as all get out to watch me flip through looking for something in the DMG.
Okay, so, hold on.
Wait, I'm in the treasure part.
So entertainment here. There is a name that was a name devised for a character that my cousin came up with.
Oh, wait. Tell the story while I'm doing this.
Okay, great.
Okay, so something awesome happened this weekend. And I have not heard this story. But, okay, so here, I'm going to start off.
Yeah, go for it.
Ethan, I have not heard this whole story. Ethan went to St. Louis to visit his cousins this weekend. And Friday night, I texted him and said, hey, did you make it? Are you okay? And he answered me with a photo of his player's handbook, his Dungeon Master's Guide, and a whole bunch of dice. And he said, we're playing D&D. And I didn't know that he had packed his D&D books. And his cousins are younger. They're like, what, 13 and 15?
13 and 16.
13 and 16. So you went to St. Louis with your DMG, the Dungeon Master's Guide, not one of the fake ones that came later that called
themselves. This one right here.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
All right. We're not going to get them mixed up because I've got my name. Oh, I thought I had my name in mine. Oh, weird. I thought I had my name stickered in mine. Okay. That's so weird. I never put my name into my book. That's amazing. I thought I did. Okay. So Ethan shocked me with a picture from St. Louis of him playing D&D with his cousins. So Ethan.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
What is the story?
What?
What is the story? What?
Okay.
How did you end up playing D&D with your cousins in St. Louis?
I'm gonna. First things first. I went on a little road trip to St. Louis. It was a good time. I brought my DMG and my player's handbook and a notebook and some dice for two reasons. One, I kind of just wanted to read if I had anything any time. I wanted to have something to read, so I brought that, and I brought the dice thinking, who knows, maybe I'll roll up some characters if I'm bored or whatever. And so one evening, my cousins are watching a football game, and I am across the room, of course, reading my DMG. And one of them walks over, and he looks at it, he goes, is that D&D? And I said, yeah, it is. And he goes, can you teach me how to play? And this was actually the older one, the 16-year-old. He said, can you teach me how to play? I said, of course. Sit down, and I'll help you roll up a character. And just for some background, I have never, ever run a game of AD&D ever. So I had no clue what I was doing, but I did know how to make a character because I've made quite a few. So I started helping him make a character. Well, actually, he argued with me over whether or not he could use a character that he created with D&D Beyond.
Go ahead, tell the story.
Yeah, so we had that argument for a while where we went back and forth where I was trying to explain to him that although they were both called D&D, they are different game systems and he cannot use a character that he made on D&D Beyond. But when we got past that, he started making a character. I have the character sheet right here. Right here. This is the character sheet that he started. He never finished it. But his younger brother, the 13-year-old, did actually decide to keep playing. He got bored after a little while, and the older one, 16-year-old, got bored, decided to go play some Fortnite, but whatever. For his character, he named it Veach. It's a magic user who's an elf, and he rolled a few things. The only real thing he chose was his patron deity was Jesus.
Wait, his date of birth?
His date of birth is 2/5.
February 5th?
You know what?
Is that his real date of birth?
No, it's not. Maybe it's 215. That might be an age. I think that's probably an age. He probably put the age as 215. That's probably what that is.
So this is your cousin who has never played real D&D before.
He has played some 5th edition stuff. He was familiar with D&D Beyond and had already created some characters on there. So that's the background. But like I said, he got bored. He never even finished his character. He went down into the basement and started playing some Fortnite.
I thought you were showing me something in your notebook, like an adventure you made.
The younger one came over while we were creating that character, and he started making his character. I cannot show his character sheet because it has his name on it. But
all right, so you made a character.
The younger one, the 13-year-old, started making his character. He never finished it. He wanted to start playing. I was kind of agreeing with him, so I handed him a character that I previously used and was killed. This character actually is from the session that I play, an OSE game that I play, and this character was dead. But I took the character anyway, and I gave it to him, let him... No, I didn't. Not that character. This character. Okay. And I gave it to him, and he did a few things with it, and whatever. So... erase this. Okay. So he was playing this thief, and... we adapted it because it's an OSE or a basic character, and we adapted it. And like I said, I have never run an AD&D campaign at all, not even a single game. So I was actually running BX combat because I'm much more familiar with it. Anyway, so that was his character. Because it was just one character, and I didn't want to have him running two, he was having some trouble with the one. So I threw in another one of my dead characters as an NPC to go adventuring with him. This one right here is a cleric, and that was his adventuring party. And I based all of this that I was running loosely around, what was it, T1?
Yeah, the village of Hamlet.
Yes, the village of Hamlet.
Ethan knows the village of Hamlet because I ran him through it
a while ago.
And there was a TPK.
Yeah.
Really? What was there? No, there wasn't. No,
just my character died.
Yeah, your character.
Yeah, it wasn't a total play. Yeah, it was just me.
Yeah. The giant frog encounter. I won't say anything else. Yeah, got his. Your character was a halfling. Right?
Yes, my character. Yeah, I was a halfling thief that was consumed by a frog.
You got eaten by a giant frog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So.
All right. So you made up an adventure right there on the spot for your cousin who's never played D&D before.
Yes.
And you based it on what you remembered from Village of Hamlet, but you didn't actually have any adventure or any module or anything to go with.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. And I forgot to mention this. My cousin came up with a name for his character. It was Bartholomew, like with an L at the end. Bartholomew.
I like it.
Dinglenut the Third.
I like it.
Okay. And it was a halfling thief.
And he's how old? 13?
What does it say for age?
No, your cousin.
Yes, he is 13. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. It's 13. So, I was kind of jotting down numbers, showing him how different stuff worked, XP, GP, whatever. So this is an extremely messy piece of paper. But it's a notebook I had.
It doesn't matter. Just show it.
I kind of drew this as an idea of showing him what he was looking at. So here I've got...
You're off a little bit.
Sorry. All right, so here we've got a road. Okay. Here we've got a river, a bridge, and a boathouse. And there was almost a TPK.
Who did they fight?
They fought 3 giant frogs.
Oh, you did a whole giant frog at the bridge.
I did the giant frog at the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because, like I said, I had no idea what to do. I was trying to come up with this on the spot.
I'm hearing this story for the first time. When Ethan started telling me the story when he got home, I said, shut up, save it for the recording, because I love this. I love that there's a young man playing D&D with his even younger cousin on the fly, just having fun. This is what we did when I was a kid. And when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, there were older guys doing the same thing with me.
Yep.
And here we are, 2024. I love this.
Yeah.
So, and I love hearing this from your perspective, the perspective of a young person, because young people can have fun playing D&D. This isn't just a game for old guys who remember it when they were a kid.
I agree. It was tons of fun. He had a bunch of fun. In fact, like, he kept asking me the next day and a half that I was there with him, he kept saying, can we go play D&D now? Can we go play D&D now? And I think we spent a total of 5 hours between making the characters and, well, you know, whatever we did there, and actually playing. And the rest of it, I don't have. I was just doing stuff off the top of my head. I don't have any notes. Okay. But the idea kind of remained the same. He continued going back and killing more and more frogs, and then running away.
Okay.
And whatever.
I'm just cutting you off because of the time.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Break out your dice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to get rid of that. Oh, wait.
Yeah. No.
What do I do with the town map? Man, too much stuff. Okay. Wait, do I need it? No, I don't need a town map. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, we need to determine where this road goes south out of town, and we need to determine the terrain around the town. Okay? And to do that, page 173 of the Dungeon Master's Guide has terrain generation rules. I've never used these before. I've always run canned adventures. Even when I do hex crawls, when I'm running, I will actually make the map myself without randomizing it. I just kind of go, okay, would be cool to have here, and this would be cool to have here, and I make it myself. I've never randomly rolled up terrain. Let's see what happens. I've heard that sometimes you can get weird results. We'll see what happens. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we are in, this is going to count as a plane.
Okay.
Okay, so in AD&D, there are certain types of climate and certain types of terrain that you use to generate your random encounters.
Yeah.
Okay, so say you're in a subtropical desert. Well, there's a table in here for rolling your encounters. Okay, so there are certain kinds of terrain that go through the whole AD&D line: plain, scrub, forest, rough, desert, hills, mountains, and marsh. Marsh can be any kind of swamp or wetland. Forest can be any kind of forest. Could be a northern pine forest. It could be a jungle, a wet rainforest. It could be a deciduous forest. It could be anything.
Cool.
Rough, I feel like needs some explanation. Rough is something like the Grand Canyon. It's not hills. It's not mountains. It's something different.
Okay.
It's like the Grand...
So like Badlands?
Badlands National Park.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what rough is. It's rough. It's not, but it's not really hills.
Yeah.
It's not really mountains. It's something
in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So we are going to the plain part. Okay, and we're going to roll a d20, and that will tell us, and we're going to start going north. So for the hex to the north, let's roll a d20.
Okay.
What is it?
Looks like a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
And oh wait, this needs to be like this so that the camera can see all the rolls.
Can the camera? Hold on. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's plain. So I need my light green. Heck, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, it's that one. Okay. I'll just do a rough. Okay. Okay. So then we're gonna go to the next one. Roll a d20, and again we're starting with plain because we're rolling from this hex in the center.
20.
20 is a depression. I will use brown. Depression. Okay, Gary. What is a depression? A gorge, a rift, a valley, or a canyon? Oh, okay. That's so interesting because that does not appear in the Wandering
So
Monster.
rough specifically says Badlands.
Yeah, but depression does not appear in the. If you look at the Wandering Monster tables,
Oh, it doesn't.
it's not one of the options for terrain.
That's funny. Okay.
So we're going to consider that depression and rough to be the same thing.
Okay.
So this is a depression. I used light brown for hills. I'm going to use brown for depression.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to go clockwise. Roll the next one. D20.
11.
11 is a plain. We're going clockwise, and I will color this in better later. We're just generating the terrain around our town.
Another.
These are 3-mile hexes inside of a 30-mile hex. Okay, go.
3.
3. That's more plain, which is actually what we wanted. We want 50% or more of this to be
Plains.
yeah. Because then it matches
hex, yeah.
right. It matches the 30-mile hex on the big map.
Yeah. Go.
Yep. 4. Okay, that is also plain.
Mm-hmm.
Now these are 3-mile hexes. That doesn't mean there's no trees. It doesn't mean there's no rivers, lakes, whatever. It just that's mostly what that hex is.
Yeah.
Okay, next one more. 10 plain. Okay, so we're surrounded by plains, except for there's some kind of depression. A gorge, a rift, a valley. Okay, it can't be a valley because it's so it's a canyon or a gorge or a rift, some kind of depression in the ground. Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
now we need to determine that road.
Yeah. Sorry.
What are you reaching for? Go ahead.
The depth.
And I just want to say, so that was page 173 of the DMG. It's all, I think, on one page. But there is, check each space for the possibility of habitation. Use random numbers. Oh, okay, we're not done.
Okay.
We need a D100. So,
I can do a D100. Okay.
all right, anything under 17 is going to be something.
Okay.
Okay. 50 is, okay, uninhabited. Keep going. Okay, so that's for this hex. Okay, for the next one.
Yep.
72, okay, uninhabited. Anything under 17 is going to be something. Next hex. 17. Oh. Uninhabited. Only, wait, am I reading that right? Yeah, 17.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep it where the camera can see it.
Sorry.
Okay, go. 31. Okay, uninhabited. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. So that was this one?
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we need 2 more. 30. Okay. 1 more. 36. Okay, so nothing is inhabited around our town.
Okay.
Okay, and then it gives you a population chart you can roll on if you do come up with something. But the other options are town, village, hamlet, thorp, single dwelling. So there could have
been into like a single dude living out in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere.
there well,
makes sense.
A
I mean,
farmstead,
you're near town,
a farmstead, a homestead.
Yeah.
A castle, a ruins, and then there's roll again.
Mm-hmm.
If you what? Oh, ruins of what? And
okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it tells you if it's ruins of a tomb, a shrine, a city, or a village. And then uninhabited. We're almost in the ruins of a village.
Yeah.
There's only 10 people left in this town. And yeah, that's it. That is all of the random wilderness terrain generation rules right there. So if we were starting in this hex, hills, then we would go by these results. And it's skewed so that you're more likely to have like mountains or hills next to hills.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
So we got one weird thing, a depression right there. That is weird.
Yeah.
That is wild and wacky stuff.
Cool.
Okay, so I also want to point out, page 47 of the DMG tells you when to roll encounters depending on what terrain you're in and what time of day. Check for an encounter at morning, noon, evening, night, midnight, pre-dawn. I don't think we're going to use this, and here's why. There's, in the Greyhawk box set, there's, for the Greyhawk setting.
A separate one?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that one includes Fiend Folio. When this came out, it was only Monster Manual.
Okay, cool.
And we could go one step beyond that, and we could go to Monster Manual 2.
Which has all three, doesn't
It's got all the monsters from... the tables in there have all the monsters from Monster Manual 1, Fiend Folio, and Monster Manual 2.
Yeah.
But I think for the outdoor encounters, I think we'll use the Greyhawk box set. It's AD&D rules.
Yeah.
But it's specifically for the Greyhawk setting.
Cool.
Okay, so now... okay, now we need to make this road jive. We got a road going south out of town.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to go... Okay, roll. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We know it's going south.
So D3?
1, 2, 3 is going to be this, or that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. So it turns and goes this way. Okay. We're only going to accept stuff that goes south.
Okay.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
2.
Okay. So it's going to turn this way. All right. Hold on. We're just rolling. We want the road to go generally south. So we're rolling to see where this road goes. Oh, wait. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to go all the way to the end of our 30-mile hex. Or 1. Okay, so it's going to go this way, which is the direction we want it to go to. We want it to go to Nevon Nevland.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. A 5. Ooh, so that goes this way. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3. 6.
So windy road.
We got to roll one more time.
Okay.
Or we can just stop right there. Yeah, it's a windy road. Okay, so this is the road going south.
All right.
It's windy.
It is.
This wasn't built by the Romans. This is a weird, windy road. Maybe it follows the contours of the land. Each one of these is 3-mile hexes instead of a 30-mile hex.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the road also goes off to the northwest.
Yeah.
So hold on.
I'm just grabbing the dice.
Okay, I'm drawing that part of it. Okay, and we want it to come out in this direction. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and roll.
3.
So that's 2, so it's going to go straight. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 4, that counts as a 2, so that's going to be straight. All of a sudden, the road straightens out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 6. What was the last one? A 6?
Yeah,
so that's going to
6, yeah.
Okay, it's going to turn this way. So that's a 3. What are we doing? Let's explain what we're doing. Give me a D6. 1. Okay. So I'm deciding that the road is generally going to go in a certain direction. That gives us 3 hexes it could go into. And we're rolling. 1 to 2 will go into this hex. 3 to 4 will go into this hex. 5 to 6 will go into this hex. Because there's 3 options.
I thought we were doing these 3.
Well, we are. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're trying to go this direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that explain it? Okay.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3. D4. So why is a 4 counted as a 3? Okay, that's the question.
It's counted as 2.
Right. No, it counts as a 3. Oh, it counts as a 2. You're right. So 1 to 2 is counted as a 1.
3 to 3.
3 to
3 to 4.
3 to 4 is counted as a 2. 5 to 6 is counted as a 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's
3.
two.
So 2.
Okay, and then 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
So we're going north finally. Okay.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
2.
So that's north.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the end.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to go this way, curve, curve, and then shoot straight north.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where the road goes. Okay, then we got a river that comes, or a creek. It's just a creek. Do we want to map the creek? It's just a creek. I mean, if you put this in a perspective, it's maybe 5 feet wide.
Yeah. I would just
leave it.
Leave it. Yeah.
Do we care where it goes right now? It's not like you can get in a canoe and go down it.
Yeah, I would just leave it.
Okay. So do we want to do anything else? This has been a very long video.
Yeah, it is very long. We should end it. We're an hour 45.
I'm tired. You're tired. I'm using the wrong color.
You can color it in after.
Yeah. Okay. Any final words?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't have any. Thank you for watching.
And I lied. I do want you to go play D&D. Ha ha ha.